Welcome to the next training video, Overcoming Objections. Now we have to accept this fact. Objections are going to happen, but they are not necessarily bad. It at least shows a partial interest on the part of the prospect. Trust me that apathy is a lot worse. It's important that you and I respond and don't react to these objections because for the most part they are not personal. Now yes, if the person looks at you and says, "This sounds like another one of your harebrained schemes," that might be personal. But 9 times out of 10, the objection is about the prospect and not about you and I. Therefore, let us not get defensive and confrontational. There is a right way to respond to them, and this video will show you how. Please remember, people are looking to be led and reassured, not confronted or chastised. Here are some steps. Question and clarify, confirm your understanding, empathize and encourage, speak the facts, and then look for an agreement. Now the first 3 are interchangeable in order. If you want to empathize first, for example, that's fine. But numbers 4 and 5 should be done last and in that order. If you begin speaking the facts right away, people might feel that you're being defensive. Here's a common objection, for example. "This sounds like one of those pyramid scams." Okay, so here's our question clarify. Well, why do you say that? And the prospect might say, "A friend of mine did something like this years ago, invested thousands, and never saw a dime. Ambit sounds like the same thing." Us. "So you're afraid of getting into this and losing money like your friend did." Prospect. "Well, yeah, I don't have any money as it is, and I don't need to be losing any more." Us. "I can understand that because I had the same concern the first time I saw this. I once lost over $2,000 investing in a pyramid thing years ago and I never made any of it back. My family had to bail me out. So my first reaction was the same as yours." "Well, really?" Prospect says. "Why are you doing it?" Us, speaking the facts. "Because I did some honest research into Ambit, and here's where we're going to quote credentials like the Better Business Bureau and J.D. Powers. And I also met regular people like me and you, who started this only a few years ago and are rapidly approaching financial freedom. I realized that if they could do it, then so could I." Okay, here's another one, or here's us seeking the agreement then. "Pyramids are illegal, and I would never be involved with one, nor would I try to get you involved. Ambit is a completely legitimate business, and last year they paid $100 million to their consultants. I would like a piece of that. How about you?" Okay, make sure your empathy is sincere. The examples I used in this one here are things that actually happened to me. Remember, we don't sacrifice integrity for growth, so therefore we will not lie or exaggerate. Here's the next most common objection. People will say, "I don't have the money to get started." So here's an example of how we might respond. "Well, you don't have that kind of money just laying around? Hey, look, I understand. It's not chump change. It wasn't to me either, but I realized the only way I was going to break the paycheck to paycheck cycle was by getting started. I can help you set up a plan to get the money. One way is to set aside X amount per paycheck and put it into an envelope. How much do you think you could put aside?" And at this point, you can also recommend other things like using a credit card or having a yard sale or selling things on eBay. Here's the next most common objection. "I need to talk with my spouse first." Here's a response you and I could have. "Hey, that's smart. Making this decision together is better. I showed it to my wife the same day I saw it, and she said I would be good at this. What's your spouse's name? I'd be happy to talk with him or her over the phone right now, or meet with both of you to answer any questions they might have. I could even show you the same video I just showed you. The same video I just showed you." Here's the next common one. "I need to do some research first." Here's our response. "Absolutely. An informed decision is always better. What sort of research would speak to you the best? Let me give you these papers." Now at this point, you're going to give them the papers I recommended to you a couple videos back. The Better Business Bureau, J.D. Powers and Associates Review, Inc. Magazine, the Customer and the Consultant papers. This is where you want to put that into their hands and help them do their research for them. And the last one here is I call the bad report. The prospect might say something like this. "I talked with a former Ambit consultant who told me this didn't work and it was just a rip-off." Here's how you and I could respond to that. "Are you afraid that the same thing will happen with you?" "I was at first, but then I met plenty of Ambit consultants who were prospering. I noticed 2 main things about them. They followed Ambit's system, and 2, they persevere no matter how many times they're told no. They never quit, and neither will I. I'm going to be successful with this, and I hope that you will come with me." Stay tuned for the next video, the follow-up, and I will see you then.